So ever since the release of the Ezio collection back in 2016, we've seen more and more people ask for a remaster of the first Assassin's Creed game, and since then we've seen 3 and Rogue Remastered also, leaving a lot of people asking when will Assassin's Creed 1 be remastered, if at all. Now, in my opinion, this is something that's inevitable. Whether the game is re-released in the form of a remake or a remaster, I don't see Ubisoft turning this down. This has been proven that there's a lot of people, including myself, who'd love for this to happen. In terms of when it'd be released, I definitely see this coming out in an off year. In 2016 and 2019 respectively, we got the Ezio collection as well as Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered in absence of a mainline entry. On the other hand though, it's entirely possible that we get the game the same year as a mainline entry, just like how Rogue released in the same year as Odyssey. However, the Rogue Remaster released early in the year and was announced in February, so if we were to get it this year, then time's definitely running out. In my opinion, at very earliest, this remaster will be out in the first half of next year. What I think is most likely for the game though is for it to be released in Ubisoft's next down year, so whenever there isn't a mainline entry coming out, which is probably and hopefully next year. If Ubisoft released a mainline entry again in 2021, it would either be made by Quebec in 2 years, presuming they started right after finishing Odyssey, which would be the quickest a game was made since Rogue, and keep in mind that was a side game made for last gen systems. So I think it's more than likely Ubisoft are going to take a year off after Ragnarok again, which would leave the perfect space for this to happen in 2021, which by that point would probably be releasing for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. A remaster generally for Ubisoft seems more filler than anything, just to be released when nothing else is coming out, so I definitely could see this bridging the gap between the release of Ragnarok and the next mainline entry in the series to make sure that they cash in on Assassin's Creed, while also bringing in some new fans and also pleasing those older fans, which is something Ubisoft really need to do right now. While games like Odyssey are given the cold shoulder by older fans, it's a direction Ubisoft might keep going in considering that game's success, whereas an Assassin's Creed remaster is a very safe option that doesn't have to run the risk a game like Odyssey does, while also just making Ubisoft a lot of money. Like at this point it'd be stupid not to cash in on this when it's something so many fans will put down money for. It's also something of a jumping on point for the newer fans. In places like the Assassin's Creed subreddit, you'll see people who mention that they haven't played certain games, and one of those games that usually comes up as one that isn't played or is just ignored is Assassin's Creed 1. And a lot of fans who have played it mention that they find it outdated, so it both appeals to fans who are nostalgic for the original as well as those who have never played the original game or just found it outdated. Whether the game would be a remaster or a remake is still up in the air. A lot of the game's mechanics and features would seem quite outdated today, as I mentioned before, so it's probably more likely for a remake than the Ezio games were. However, knowing Ubisoft, it'd be a light remake at that. So anyway, those are my thoughts on if we will really get this Assassin's Creed 1 remaster or remake. In my opinion, we probably are going to get it in the next few years, however things could definitely change, and if things do change, like if there's announcements or leaks, then I'll definitely make a video on that. Also, my friend Founded Scarab has just made a really great video that's an Assassin's Creed 2 retrospective, which I highly recommend. I'll link that up below and in the description. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.